Hey guys, I am Victoria, and this is Heather. And we are Uncorked and Uncensored, where we drink wine and we talk shit. And today's episode gets a little racy, so trigger warning.
The red beans.
So here's something that I find interesting, and this is, I'm sure, a sensitive topic or whatever. But why are we celebrating this obesity?
So my opinion is that it's not necessarily celebrated, but we're trying to avoid body shaming, and we're trying to promote loving yourself as you are. And I say that because, I have this friend of mine, and she had bought a bunch of clothing from, I can't remember the name, American Apparel or US Apparel. It's some kind of company. Apparently it's a whole thing. They have like Facebook groups where people buy and sell. So she went on there and she said something like, I lost, or she saw a post. It was something like that. It was a post. That's what it was. And hey, I lost a bunch of weight, so this stuff doesn't fit me anymore, so I'm selling it. And she was selling all this stuff. And she said it went totally sideways. It turned into this whole thing about how you're body shaming people and like people were triggered. It was a whole situation just because this woman went on there and said that she couldn't wear these anymore because she had lost a bunch of weight.
That's sad. And that actually happened to me, when I was, I was a brand new instructor, and I said something about when I started Jazzercise, I was 60 pounds overweight, and I just had 2 kids. And I said something, I'd lost a bunch of weight while I was going through training and becoming instructor in my first few months. And I said something about that on the stage. And I was like, down to my last 5 pounds of baby weight or whatever. And I worked my ass off for that. And I got one of my customers complained to the owner, and the owner called me. He's like, you don't need to be talking about your weight. And I was like, fuck that.
Yeah.
I busted my ass doing that.
I don't agree with the perspective of, if you are in a certain place, that's where you are.
Yeah.
Girl, that is your journey. You'll do it when you're ready. Number one, you will do it when you're ready. You will get to a point where how you look and feel tomorrow is going to be more important than that bowl of ice cream tonight, first of all. When it's a case of calories in and calories out. Some people have different issues, and I get that. But when I have made the commitment and I have made the decision, because I also got to a point, it wasn't baby weight, but it was just overall not being my best. I committed to working out. I was working out. My best friend is a personal trainer. We weren't best friends at that point. That's how we became friends. I was lifting weights 3 days a week. I was doing cardios on the days I wasn't lifting weight. I was watching what I was eating. I wasn't drinking as much. I was doing all the things. And I worked my ass off. Yeah. And I addressed my gut health, and I changed my body. So for somebody, if I want to talk about that, and especially in what you do, if you're on the stage, that owner is so short-sighted because...
Oh, I cried. I got off the phone and
having
cried.
You up there saying, this is what Jazzercise did for me, will get people through her door. That's what it is. And and my thing is always this. It feels great to lose weight, to look good, and to feel like you look good, yes. But my overall thing, by the time I got to the point where I really committed. And when I tell you I committed, I went out one night, I hung out with some friends, had probably a little too much tequila. I wasn't drinking wine. When I was drinking, it was tequila. Had too much tequila. I was in her garage at 8 a.m. the next morning working out.
Yep.
And so I was proud of that.
Yeah.
I worked my ass off.
And you should be. And you should be able to celebrate that.
Just because Barbara over here is not at that level of commitment, as much as I hate that for her, that's her own personal journey.
I also feel like
if she feels ashamed, it's because she's not making the right decision for herself, and that is not you.
And that comment, a lot of times, I feel like is coming from a place of shame or jealousy or hate even.
So it's a level of envy that is begrudging envy.
Yeah.
So it is, I am jealous that I'm not where you're at because I haven't made those choices. But not only am I jealous, I wish you didn't have that.
Mm-hmm. And you shouldn't be celebrating.
Right.
Yeah, because it makes me feel bad when you do that.
Now, if somebody's over here and they weigh what they weigh and they're happy with themselves and they're happy at that weight, then do you. But that doesn't have to be me.
Right.
I didn't come up in this body. I have this body because I had children or because I ate too much or because I had a health issue or whatever my thing is. And if I want to address it and I address it, I'm proud that I did that work. It's the same thing as like if I work hard and I start a business and I make money and I'm rich and I make a lot of money. Well, I'm not allowed to celebrate that because these people over here are poor for whatever reason. They don't have what I have.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean I can't celebrate who I am. And
Exactly.
this whole culture of like me being proud of my...
It's a very me.
Right. Me being proud of my accomplishment and getting in shape and losing weight means that I'm shaming you.
Yeah.
Then sit over there and be shamed. Because I was so proud of myself because I've worked out on and off my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
I buckled down and I committed and I changed my body and I felt so good because of it.
Yeah.
So if you're over here and you weigh what you weigh and you're ashamed, be ashamed. That's not my problem.
You know what my favorite saying is? Guess how many fucks I give?
Yeah. Well, we know that anyone who knows you knows the answer to that. You might
Anybody that doesn't know me, I just don't get worked up with things like that.
You might be in the negatives, actually. I don't even think you're at zero.
Negative.
I think you're
negative
like
fucks?
negative.
Can I give negative fucks?
You probably
I
can.
don't know. Let's find out.
I cannot believe that the owner told you not to talk about that.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Yeah, it was, and I got off that phone call and I cried because I was like, I was a brand new instructor and being up on stage in front of people and you're bouncing around and being brand new, like it's scary. And then you want the people to enjoy your class and enjoy, like what you're doing and what you have to say and
yeah, because you have instructors you click with. When I
Right.
used to do spin at Rush Cycle, and there were certain classes that I would go to because
Yeah.
I liked that instructor.
Yeah. But it made me not want to get up on stage.
Yeah.
Because, I was talking about something that was important to me and I wasn't even talking about it. It was just a comment. Because you don't really talk a whole bunch, like
You just say
conversationally
things.
on stage. But
I've noticed that you'll just say things here and there. Like,
yes. And I'll get to that in a minute because I do that for a reason. But the fact that I got off stage and she called me and said that somebody complained about it, I was just like, that for one, that's the stupidest thing in my opinion to complain about. Like if you don't like what I say, okay, great. You do you. Maybe don't come to my class.
maybe take a different class.
Or just like let it roll off your back like I would.
How about you roll your eyes and you keep it moving?
Right. But
the fact that the owner went through the trouble of calling you
me.
and telling you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
so it made me not want
people,
to instruct anymore.
You don't want people to know that they can come to your studio and they can be committed and faithful to these classes and they can improve their health. Oh, that's what I was going to say a second ago. So my main goal when I committed to that was not, I want to lose weight and be skinny, even though that was kind of the impetus for me
Right.
pursuing it. But for me, it was, I want to be healthy. I want to feel better.
And that's why I say, why are we celebrating this? Because at the end of the day, that is not healthy. They may be gorgeous
Right.
and fantastic people, and that's
I felt
great.
like trash. My digestive system
Right. It's
was
not healthy.
weird. I would get winded doing the simplest things. I was not huge. I've never been huge, but I just wasn't at my best.
Mm-hmm.
And so I felt good. Like my gut health was in check. My inflammation was down. I had lost a little bit of weight, but for me, it wasn't even the weight. It was just like lifting weights sculpted my body. It changed my body. I felt confident.
Yeah.
After at being my age, being in my 40s and having had 3 children, I felt the best I had ever felt. And of course, along with that, you do look better. But that was really second to what was important to me was that I felt good.
Right.
And so then you have this confidence and you glow and then that makes you look better. It's an overall glow up in your health.
Yeah.
I don't know why that can't be celebrated without somebody over here getting their feelings hurt.
Because we live in a world of let's not offend, let's not offend, let's not offend. And it's just, to me, it's just crazy.
And on that note, can I tell you a super pet peeve of mine?
What?
Trigger warning.
Oh, dear.
No.
What?
When people say trigger warning.
Oh. I was like, what?
Like
What's going to happen?
They put a post on social media and it says trigger warning. Here's my thing.
Oh.
You have your experiences and I have mine.
Yeah.
I can't possibly know every single thing that everybody has been through. Now, there are certain ridiculous things that could be insensitive to most people that you probably shouldn't say. But
Right.
But for people to always have to preface anything they have to say with trigger warning. I'm sorry, friend, if you are that delicate, listen, you know your triggers. Okay, so personally, I know certain things that I don't want to see in my feed, or that I'm like, oh my God, I can't handle that today, or
Block.
whatever.
Click.
No, I
Yeah,
scroll.
or
Sometimes
scroll.
I'll tell it I don't want to see posts like this. Like for instance, late at night, those freaking cat rescue videos. I've sat there and been crying over
Oh,
this
yeah.
cat
No, I can't do
that was
that.
like left in the street and it's on its deathbed and somebody rescues it. So there are times that I just can't handle it. So I scroll.
You just scroll. Yeah.
And so it's like, you need to be in bubble wrap in a dark corner of your home without the internet if you can't handle life with people saying things and knowing, hey, that triggers me. I hate when people say trigger. That bothers me.
Yeah. It's
So-
an unpopular opinion, but I feel like your triggers are your own problem.
They are.
They're your own problem.
It is not my problem to know what sets each and every individual that I ever meet in my life off. First of all, you shouldn't be on social media.
Right.
Because that is a collection of, that is like the island of misfit toys.
Do you like this?
I do.
What is it? Santa
Can
Julia
you pour some more
Plus?
since you picked it up?
Absolutely.
I didn't pick it up because I didn't want to do it. It's like when you have a baby and you act like you can't smell the diaper, so your husband will change it. Yeah, that's what I used to do. I'm like, oh, is it dirty? Oh, okay.
Oh, I had no idea.
I didn't know. He's been sitting on my lap and my leg stinks now, but okay. It's fine. So anyway, yeah, I can't stand like the whole, everybody's triggered over something.
Always.
Just like deal with it.
Yeah.
Learn to cope.
Yeah. And I feel like if it's important to you to talk to me about whatever I may have done to trigger you, you can come to me and say, hey, you know what? X, Y, and Z, I'm triggered, blah, blah, blah. And we can have a conversation about it. And,
But if we're friends, then you have an investment in that. If you don't know me
Right.
from
Yeah, yeah.
anybody else, why do you give a
I mean,
shit
it's not
what
something I
triggers
would
me?
ever do, but
Like Victoria, when you talk about Jordan drinks and your husband that triggers me, could you not do that? Then we can have a
you
conversation.
love it. Be quiet.
We can have a conversation.
Be quiet. I mean, everybody's thinking it.
I know, but sometimes it's okay for it just to be a thought.
Well, no, that's fine. But you know me, like I have zero filter.
I know you don't
so
agree with that philosophy,
I
but
have
it is
zero
okay.
filter. I have zero filter.
I don't know what scares you about leaving things on the
And
inside, but it's okay sometimes.
Well, that's why you're the
I don't think that makes me goody. I think it makes me normal.
So am I not normal?
I mean, I'm not saying
But
that.
like I said, like I give zero fucks and I have no filter. So I mean, you could come and ask me like anything, and I'm an open book. I'll tell pretty much anybody anything, with some exceptions. But well, as always, special thanks to Scott Stewart, Lick Life Media. He does all of our behind the scenes editing, and he just kind of sits here and tolerates us.
He Googles shit while we're talking to make sure we're on point and to give us more to talk about. So if you liked what you heard today, subscribe and follow and stay tuned for the next episode.
Yeah.